Let's go, let's go, let's go, and welcome to the Art of Music Tech podcast. I'm your host, Fela, and I'm here with my co-host, Dennis.
Hey guys, we're back.
We're back again this week, and the topic for this week is how much of our gigs are creative or mechanical. As creative, you got to be some people say inspired by, certain aspects are inspirational, or there's something that inspired it, and or is it just, hey, it's Monday, 9 a.m. to 5 p.m. and I'm gonna write a song, or I'm going to do this thing, or is it just a mechanical thing you do every day? And I'm definitely more on the mechanical side as the engineer. But
there's a creative side to.
Yeah, exactly. But it was definitely I'm going to be there at the time that it's assigned, and it was very gig based.
So what's the as far as inspiration and creativity, does it have to be mechanical, or do you have to rely on like a time, a day?
Actually, both.
But do you have to, in your opinion, do you wait for a day when a muse gonna hit you and you'll be like, oh, okay, well, I'm gonna do this today then because I feel inspired?
No,
never, right?
No.
What's the percentage?
Yeah, I mean, usually it's because we're talking out a problem, and it's like, man, I wish there was something that could do this. And it was like, oh, why don't we do that? So
I think
we creatively get our problem solving out of that too. Just like, okay, what is the problem? Well, I think it's this thing, and you'll think it's something else, and I'll be
you
like,
reverse
okay.
engineer it.
Yeah, and then
basically,
exactly.
And I had this exact conversation with Felipe. He's a great artist, and I was saying, to me, 75% is mechanical and 25% is creativity and inspiration and all of that. But for the most part, as artists, because even to run the studio, we have to be artistic in order to to create great audio quality, video quality, and a great look, and all of that.
Yeah, getting clients, that's creativity. So.
And he was saying, he was saying that as artists, you always solve problems in the process of creation, I guess. And I mean, just like you answered now, for the most part, we reverse engineer our next gig, right? For example, or next, I don't know, next song I'm going to write, or next
client that you want to go after, doing the pros and cons with that. And, but I guess that's more in the mechanical realm as well.
But from what we know, and knowing so many people that work in music industry, film industry, like commercials and stuff like that, they always rely on post-production for the most part, and great equipment.
Yeah.
Because if you come unprepared to the gig, you can just rely on your inspiration. And if it doesn't hit that day, so what are you doing then?
Yeah. It's the push to creatively make something happen, even if it's not. It's like, okay, what else can I do to help this?
And create your way out of it.
Yeah.
Okay, that makes perfect sense. But I think in what we do at the studio is mostly mechanical, because I think we've done it so many times that.
Yeah, we've taken the guesswork out of it. We've used the certain equipment that didn't work and switched it out for something else, and um, and created something that's, is rock solid for us. So, and that we're able to now give out to other people in the form of even with this podcast, rental box and sale, putting together all the gear.
Creatively, so
Yeah.
we can be creative after doing all this mechanical work.
Yeah.
Okay, so to you, what's the percentage in your everyday workflow? How much you rely on your skill set doing just let's call it labor. We don't really move boxes and unload trucks.
Yeah. But
this
is technician as the
manual labor still. You turn on the mics. You do this that.
Mechanical. Yeah, that's about 20% now. Like 80% of just like
Mechanical.
Creating.
Or 80% is creative and 20% mechanical.
Yeah.
It's just because the gig, right?
Yeah,
or you know your next gig.
Yeah, I know those things of what I'm looking for the best quality. And then it's just creatively what can I do with that? What can be the story told on that A+ system that's there?
But when it's time to execute, I guess I'm going to rephrase. When the time is execute, do you wait for inspiration or is it mostly mechanical?
Oh, but yeah, that's mechanical to execute. That's the thing that I know.
Probably 95%, right?
Yeah. That's the thing I know backwards and forwards now. It's just with all the time spent on it. So that's why it doesn't take up that much room because I've done it so much.
But what led you to, all of us, not just you, but people who I get own the studio, tour, engineer, produce music. What do you think most important thing that led you to get to this level without even second guessing and being 1,000% sure of like your next step? We both know what we're talking about, but if there are people who don't know, where's the line between being inspired and just say F it and execute?
Oh, well.
You know how so many people wait for a certain time and.
Oh, yeah. I get you have to plan for certain things, of course. Before I moved here to the New Jersey area 11 years ago, I had to save up for a year to get the money to do it, so
constantly
you have
getting ready.
Yeah, you have to plan and be, have some money put aside or whatever, to get you to that thing. But I knew what I needed to do to make it here, so I made those choices and what needed to happen, to get there. So it's just an ongoing. So that's mechanical, but it was also a way to get to the creative because I just didn't see the opportunity per se when I was living in Miami that I have here in New Jersey and being super close to, Manhattan and all of that. It's just a different world, so
you still process this information in your head, right? That's being creative, I guess, because you're creating your way to
my opportunity.
To your opportunity. But opportunity, we always talk about it, but I played sports, right? And I always knew that practicing every day is very important, no matter what you do in your life. And I think with what we're doing today, we're getting ready for next opportunity that's going to be a bigger and better than what we have at this moment and think how we think today. Because when new opportunity comes, it makes you think differently and you learn something that you didn't even know. And it happened. Even Joy, our third partner, she said we're going back to school with this, with this new podcast we're gonna announce soon.
Yeah.
But getting ready for the opportunity every day is, I think, is crucial, right?
Oh yeah, that's the must, and that's what most people want to dodge.
So you
Unfortunately.
you can't just sit there, wait for inspiration, and then think that you'll be ready for the opportunity, right?
Yeah.
I think that you have to work backwards and reverse engineer. So
Uh huh.
what do you need to do to get ready for the opportunity or
Or
next gig?
just be able to look at where you would like to be and who's doing that right now. What are they doing right now? What how can I get myself on that level
All right.
and finding out what they did to get
What's
to
the
that
basic
level, you
example?
know?
Let's break down the basic example of I'm in the middle of nowhere and I don't know where to start. And I know a lot of people like that. They just a lot of people that
Yeah.
always tell me that they don't know what they like and where to go.
Well, yeah, again, with me and wanting to work, on with big artists, I looked at the engineers that did that.
Hmm.
What did their social media
So
look like?
all that available on Google, right?
Oh yeah,
Just type in.
exactly. Yeah, I
Okay.
mean, you have the things like LinkedIn, and you can see what they're up to, and personally message those people who are doing the thing that you want to get to, and it's like, why not just if you have some questions, and not waste their time and just not be like, hey, I like how you mix.
So
Okay,
not being like a fan or groupie.
yeah, but really
By being serious.
Yeah, and whatever you are, but really wanting to find out what are the finer points of what you do, you learn from the masters of it. So,
And what?
and even if you don't hear back from them, you can just you see what they do and learn from that. I mean,
Oh yeah, this
so I
is
mean, you
simple.
could tell me something, but I'm looking at what is being seen and what's being seen online, and how you set up your LinkedIn page with a picture and da 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 and your credits, and I'm like, oh, I should do that too.
Oh, at least not. I'm not saying copy it, but consider it.
Yeah. I mean, but again, you want to be on their level. Why not start doing what they're doing?
At least have that.
Yeah, at least have that. I mean, if you've mixed or you have a few credits that you can put up there, put it up there. Don't feel embarrassed. Like, I don't want to. It's like, no, if this is what the A-list of what you're doing does.
Hmm. And we're talking about
I
whatever industry. We're not even
whatever.
talking about.
Yeah. It doesn't have to be engineering, but I just looked at what they were doing, and I would emulate in my own way, and continued emulating and creating my own narrative, basically in the process.
Well, good example here, the website and putting yourself, and researching what A-listers do. I guess few engineers that we looked at their website and then we met them at conventions. We've talked to them and we proceeded and then we said, okay, well, let's meet. Let's ask questions. We met George Massenberg and
Yeah.
a lot of great people who are made an impact in
Yeah.
recording industry and making great gear and all of that. So we were seek the source, I guess.
Yeah.
You need to seek the source, right?
You need to seek the source. I mean, even when I was speaking of George Massenberg, I did a paper on him when I was a senior in high school. I knew who George Massenberg was because, okay, let me find out who's the best in what I'm going to get into.
Mm-hmm.
And his name all popped up. So, I learned more. I did a whole paper on him.
Mm-hmm.
So,
but when you actually met
and then
him,
getting to meet him, like,
you already knew who he is.
Yeah, 20 years later, it's like, oh, of course I know who you are. I had done research. So I don't think it's anything bad about doing your research on people, just like knowing what they did and geek out a little bit. Like nobody, people love that. Like, oh,
Yeah.
you know about that? Like, yeah, I mean, don't be too cool for school either about who you learn from. Like, I mean, learn from whoever is, the highest you can get.
Yeah, learn from the best.
Always learn from the best that you can get, or just read interviews from them. It
guess-
doesn't even have to be personal.
I guess you can listen to your friends and to your parents and, people who tell you what to do or what not to do.
Mm-hmm.
But at the end of the day, it's your life. And
Yeah.
I guess you need to, the first thing is, I guess, research, because we all have access to the internet. Whatever industry you're in, do research. Or, for the most part, I think if you're trying to be a doctor or a lawyer, and you still can learn all of those things online, but you need, to get a diploma or...
Yeah, you need to get specialized.
Yeah, you need to do 10, 12 years, and, get examined and pass the bar. And
that's in anything. You need 10, 12 years
Yeah.
before you're really a master at, like,
Mhm.
really...
30,000 hours. I don't know. I think it's coming from martial arts.
Uh-huh.
You need to repeat the one
Yeah.
form 30,000 times.
Yeah.
30,000 hours, sorry. Or, 30,000 times. Either or.
Uh-huh.
Either or.
Yeah. Yeah. It was around the 10 or 12 mark where I was like, okay.
Now we're getting serious.
Yeah, we're getting serious. Now I
Okay.
can get creative. Now, okay, give me all the gear.
Let's
give me
talk about
all
Arnold, because we follow Arnold.
Arnold Schwarzenegger, yes.
Not because he's a great actor. He is. But before being an actor, before, his acting career, he was how many times? 10, 12?
I think, like 8-time Mr.
8?
Universe or
Okay.
something.
And,
Or 8 and 9. Yeah.
How many times we watched Arnold train?
Oh, yeah. There's a classic clip where this guy's just struggling on like a deadlift or something. Or,
Uh-huh.
no, squats.
Squats, yeah.
And, the guy like fell out after he finished his set.
He did like 8 maybe.
Yeah. And, Arnold was just like, hey, now we're getting serious.
Now we're going to do 3, 4.
Yeah, it was like those last 3 or 4 was the championship reps.
Mm-hmm.
And that's where, regular people stop at the 10.
Yeah,
and
or
he was
probably
like,
6 or 5.
Yeah.
That's
and,
hey, that's enough for me.
Yeah. And those were his championship reps that he always took. And
he
took
also
him
said...
to the top.
He also said,
years.
what did he say? He said, so somebody asked him, how many do you do, right? He said, well, I don't even count until it burns.
Until it burns.
So until,
He doesn't know how many reps he does.
it's a different topic, but at the end of the day, if you apply the same mentality and thought process to whatever you do, I think you'll be further ahead, I guess.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
In 6 months or a year, 12 months period.
Yeah. Just give yourself permission to fail and get better and mess up and keep going. And 10 years, hey, you're good.
Yeah, in
and
10
10
years
is like nothing really. It sounds a little long, but it's like, no, not really. I'm like, wow, I'm 37. So 27 feels like a blink of an eye almost.
Oh,
so
yeah.
it's like, and 26 was when I moved here. So it's like,
Oof.
wow,
I've been here 13 years. I moved here when I was 23. Now I'm 36.
Mm-hmm.
And time flew by just
Yeah.
like that.
Just like that 10 years went. So putting that together is like, oh, okay, I can do 10 years at something, get really good at it, which that's pretty much what we're doing with business now. Is like we're still babies at being owners and just like putting that all together. We got the expertise in the audio production. Like that's why I'm like, that's 20% of my day is that. Like it's like nothing really. The rest is like really concentrating on getting good as a business owner. Just all the different things.
Paying bills on time.
Yeah, taxes and all of that stuff. So,
So being creative, I guess, being creative and owning the business, it's a totally different beast, right?
yeah, I guess, yeah, yeah, because I mean, but it's creative because there's so many ways to do it when you own a business. That's why I'm like 80% of it is creative. It's like reading about what did this do and what did I like. Let me choose what I like out of out of that. It's pretty cool that it is so creative to get clients.
Mm-hmm.
How to network and how to create, how to get people interested in you. I mean, it really makes you have to be good at talking about what you do. And
Personality.
yeah, and having a pleasing personality and people that wanna come
Mm-hmm.
to you for their to use our services, like that's creative. Like I've been just getting better and better at it every year, but yeah, it's for me, it's just like, oh, okay.
One of our clients, like a month ago, he asked you particularly, "Are you guys doing it for a living or is it your hobby?"
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and it's like, yeah, like as a business owner, heck no, like this is it right now, especially with what's going on with the pandemic and stuff. So it's like, okay, I really got to make this fly, because the live sound game is just not going to be going for a little bit. I'm sure it's going to come back, but um, I also needed to have something else going, which this has been a great starting point.
Mm-hmm.
And with everything happening with podcasts, it's just been like great timing for what's going on and trending in audio right now. So just looking to creatively, yeah, because nobody's doing this part of podcasting really. So creatively, where can we take it? It's a blank slate right now because it's just so
Too
new.
too many ways to do it too.
Yeah, yeah. So and we want it. We're creating the authority on podcast production. Basically, is
And
what
post
we're
production.
in post production. The standard of what all podcasts should sound like and and
Mm-hmm.
look like, and that's what we're pushing.
Mm-hmm.
So that's why we want to grow this and possibly more studios around the country still. That's just dedicated to this art form
Mm-hmm.
because it's such a different room you have to have too than just a regular recording studio. So spreading the word on that and just what we're learning in this year and a half already of owning this studio, like wow, like okay,
Mm-hmm.
what's needed.
Because
And
we know how to do music.
yeah, we know that part, but there, this dedication to what this art form of podcasting, though, we've dedicated this room basically to that more so than the music.
Mm-hmm.
We can do it, but it's just more dedicated to podcasting, and I don't see it going anywhere. And
Oh yeah, I mean we've been getting clients
yeah, yeah,
every week, every other week.
independently,
Yeah.
with other small businesses and people that just want to get their brand out there. So
Mm-hmm.
um, that's what we're here for, and we're here to help people, and that's we're still doing music tech, which is in the
Yeah, of course.
we're still putting out tracks and doing that as well. And that's the great thing about with the podcast and the creativity, speaking of again, is that now we're putting that towards small businesses and their intro and outro music, and you know giving them exactly what they want to hear, doing custom music, so still using that half of how we started in the first place, but now just just kind of moving over towards the podcast realm because it's just nobody there really.
And we can always come back to music when,
Yeah.
where live shows are happening again. And
Can't wait. Can't wait.
Yeah. but I mean, until then, yeah.
Yeah. The concentration and the creativity has to go towards this realm, and that's been fun with being a business and the
We had to
creativity and our
regroup.
websites and what we're gonna what we want to do next and how can we help this market, and I think we had some great ideas and
add the value too.
Yeah, we're putting it out there and
to our product.
Yeah, and people are really feeling it. So
yeah, I mean, because we know a lot of times, I'm not gonna call names, but people have no personality and they'll be just so, it's like, well, I mean, that's that and that's it. I'm not adding anything on top of it. Not thinking that, over deliver is the, I think, a good way to succeed.
Yeah.
And keep the client and.
Yeah.
Personality and also, I guess, experience working with different clients. Because, in music industry, you mostly work with musicians. I mean, who else you're going to record? But we've learned how to deal with musicians, record musicians, but also how to...
Corporate.
And, which we've done corporate gigs, weddings, and a bunch of other stuff.
Yeah. All creatively helping the situation too, as well as mechanically.
And I think corporate people, they're not creative per se because they only know, they need to go from A to B. That's it. Yeah. That's what they know. Out together, they meet us in the middle and we help them to get
the rest of the way.
The rest of the way, yeah. Okay, that was a very interesting conversation. But because I spoke with Felipe and he's been saying, I mean, almost the same things, but
and you should shout out what's the.
Oh yeah, We are doing a Flaters Jam on Twitch, and we're doing a Flaters Jam on Facebook. So Twitch is every Sunday evening, and Facebook Live, YouTube Live, every Wednesday morning. A Flaters Jam. So we just get together, me and my friend Felipe. He's a great artist, visual artist. So
we've posted a bunch of his stuff. If you've seen our social media, you've seen some Felipe pieces. So
so I would make music, he would make art, and we kind of combine those two together. And I mean, for the most part, it's a fun project that makes both of us think outside of the box and things like, well, again, the latest work we've been concentrating on, it was mostly mechanical because being creative with what we're doing now is okay, we can, but we kind of have to follow certain parameters and certain things to execute properly. And then in the meantime, we can be creative. But when it's time to stream on Sunday, whether I'm tired, I'm in a bad mood, it's raining or snowing, it's a must for me to show up and do it. Even if we have 3 or 4 viewers, it doesn't really matter because, I mean, it does matter, yes. Numbers are, cool and all of that. But I guess...
You got to get that time in.
Yeah, you got to get the time in and work through, through those days when, I mean, a lot of days you don't feel like, waking up early and then going, to a gig and perform at 1,000%. Sometimes you feel, well, I'm just going to, perform at 25%. But every day you have to remember that you need to perform 1,000%. Even if your head telling you, let's go a little bit slower today.
Yeah.
In your head, yes, but mechanically you cannot let it, right?
Yeah.
Escape you.
Yeah. It's a discipline to it, and it's just It's just a discipline to it. It really is.
I mean, and what other people say. I mean, the most important thing is, you just need to show up. The rest will follow.
Yeah.
But for the most part, you need to show up, no matter what. You need to show up at the AV gig, and we know how AV gigs, how a lot of engineers, how they, 20 minutes before the gig, how they say, hey, he ain't work out today.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So yeah. Creativity is all around with what we're doing,
We have too many tools to
Yeah, and
be creative.
We've put the time in to learn how to use the tools that we do have between the cameras, the mics,
And that's discipline and mechanical. To kind of summarize
everything,
by the end of the episode.
bring it back around. Yes, exactly. So it's a mix of both, and you really have to discipline yourself, especially on getting the mechanical and getting the time in for the mechanical. Because no matter what, you're gonna have to do a good 10 years on whatever you decide to concentrate on
every day
you
too.
start
right?
seeing
At least every day.
Yeah, totally. I mean, I couldn't go to every party or everything. It was like, oh, okay, I got this show.
Every birthday,
I couldn't go. Yeah, I mean, it's like
Super
it's
Bowl.
a sacrifice. I don't really watch TV anymore. I was a big. I loved watching TV and series and all of that, but in about the past, especially since opening up a business, I haven't had time to dedicate to somebody else's creative thing. So
disconnect from your
because I mean, I'm growing my own
destiny
thing, and I watch a movie here and there, but it's just been a discipline that I have to get stuff done even on the weekends, and
knowing that you're in charge of that discipline and getting
exactly
done.
If if I don't get it done, it looks bad on me, and
and then I mean, you cannot really blame anybody else for that.
Exactly.
I mean, it's really your fault.
Yeah. I mean, it's your word is your bond. Like, that's you got to keep your word, and that was always my thought process with it. Is like, if I said I was going to do it, I'm going to do it. I'm going to show up when I say I'm going to show up, and that's just the easy part of it. At first, when I didn't know the mechanical, I could at least show up on time, and I could at least be pleasant to talk to and work with. So it's
that was an interesting conversation episode. So no excuses.
Basically, in the
Guys,
end,
no excuses.
If you want to get really good at this audio production thing, whether it's engineering or producing, like, just spend the time on it every day, spending at least a couple hours on it until you are getting to do it as a job, 10 hours, 13 hours a day. How we are now. I mean, we're doing what we trained to do for ourselves now as our own business
professionally. But when we started, nobody paid us to be a professional.
Yeah.
But we treat it as a profession.
Exactly. But earned our way into making money for it. So that's the goal. That was the goal for me now is to grow businesses.
After so many years, 10, 12 years, 15 years, I mean, this has to pay off.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. And we definitely have the goals for that. So I know with the goals we want wealth-wise and health, we knew, you have to spend a lot of time to get to that. So, again, you have to sacrifice some series here and there.
Super Bowl game.
Yeah.
I don't know. Your cousin's birthday.
You just really have to concentrate in it, to make the moves that people are going to celebrate you for. So,
agreed.
yeah, so I think that's a great end to the conversation. Thank you, everyone, for checking out the Art of Music Tech. Please tell a friend, leave a comment on Apple Podcasts. Check us out at oneofOneProductions.com or 23dbproductions.com. See all the stuff we've mixed, we've worked on, our podcast, and all that good stuff. And that's it, right?
That's it.
All right.
For now.
That's it for now from the One of One Production Studios in Fort Lee, New Jersey. Let's go.
Let's go, guys.